I am home in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
I did a little last minute dash to Australia to attend my mum's service.
So mom made her transition last week.
She did.
She
She
did.
did.
Okay. So mom made her transition last week, and now you're in Australia, and so
I'm
we're
in
doing the
Australia.
Joy Jolt from down under.
Yes. Well, half
Hi.
under,
I know,
half
half
down
down
under.
under. I'm in Mexico, still
Yes.
hanging out in Mexico.
Yeah.
So this is
So,
interesting because like talking about this, I think it's an interesting subject, an important subject. It really is one that connects all of us. But this how we relate to death and what comes up when we're having this very human experience, the most human experience beyond birth,
yes.
which
Yeah.
is death, right?
Yeah.
So
And I think it's also the holding of two things, two truths
mm,
that are opposite but both true, but holding that in the same moment.
mm,
I spoke to Dad last night. Well, I tried to speak to Dad. He didn't have his hearing aids in, so it was a little challenging. But what he was telling me was that he goes, look, I'm sad that Mum is gone.
mhm.
And, she had been in a home for the last few years. Dad looked after her as long as he possibly could. She had dementia. And so he felt like it was his purpose or his joy or his job to look after her. So
Mhm.
when he couldn't, she went in the home, but there was an existence.
Yeah.
She was getting worse with the dementia. She wasn't recognizing people. And then she broke a leg. And
Mm,
as we know with older people, and Mum was 90.
90.
So 90, she had a good innings, as we say in
Wow.
Australia. Um, but and they're like, well, we don't put it through the surgery. She probably won't survive it. Let's just make it comfortable.
Mhm.
And she passed peacefully in her sleep a week later.
I mean, that's really all
So,
you can ask for,
oh my
really.
God. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the best. But Dad is torn because he goes, I'm really happy that she's gone.
Mhm.
Because I didn't want her to suffer. But he struggles with the guilt
Yeah.
of thinking that or saying that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I
Holding
and
all
for
of that, right? Holding all of that's really difficult. That deep sense of loss, that deep sense of kind of just almost relief, like,
yeah,
ah, like how
yeah,
am I feeling this when this is happening? And so I think that's part of joy is holding
yeah,
it all, just
yeah.
opening yourself to all of the feeling, all of what you're feeling. You know?
Yeah, and even for me, I mean, it's a different situation. I've done a lot of work around my mum.
Mm.
We had a very tumultuous relationship when I was younger.
Mhm.
And a lot of the work that I've done, and especially around the reframe of that situation,
Yeah.
because she was, quite abusive and everything when I with all of us, but my sister and I, especially when we were younger. But I realized how that experience for me helped me to become more resilient and more
Mhm.
independent and
Mhm.
stronger and
Yeah.
ambitious and all of these things
Yeah.
that helped to propel me to this life. And I know someone said to me the other day, they go, oh, how are you feeling about this? Knowing, what your story is. And I go, well, honestly, I've done the forgiveness work. I've actually spoke to her about it. We've exchanged I love yous. I feel complete with all of that. And even though that was my situation, it did not hold me back at all in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
anything, it
Let's
helped
put
me.
emphasis on not at all. And you're, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
and
look at
it's
the incredible
profound.
life I have. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we really are, and all of us, no matter what our background is, we are really the story we tell. Because
Yes.
because even I mean, what's even weird about the idea is like what you experienced, it was real, but it doesn't exist anymore. And what
Right.
makes it real is how you relate to it in your present moment. And so if you're relating to it from the space of the pain and the hurt and then it brings all that pain and hurt and sadness, forward. Or if you're thinking about, I want to relate to this in a way that I want to feel empowered and I want to feel complete. And I desire to be able to move on. And then you'll bring that forward. And you
Yeah.
can, so it's really interesting. It's like we really are the story that we tell.
Yeah. And I think too, it's most of the time when you really think about the story that you're telling,
Mm-hmm.
you're telling it from the version of the 5-year-old or the 4-year-old. Like your story hasn't changed,
Yeah.
over the years. And I remember when I was working with a coach in 2020, she said to me, she goes, Nat, it's about time you started telling that story from the place of evolution of where you are right now.
Amen. Ooh, I like that. I like that because I think about that like related to what we want to do. We hold so tight to the story as if the story is the reality.
Yeah.
And the story is only reality because we're holding on to it so tightly. But that's what happened.
Yeah.
And so the freedom of your therapist saying, hey, just open yourself, Joy. Joy. So the process of healing is just opening yourself to tell a different story, opening yourself to know that the reality that you might be carrying forward isn't the only reality, right? And so what's interesting, and I'll say this to you as somebody whose mom's been gone for 20 years, I am super excited about the relationship you get to have with your mom moving forward.
Right. Yes.
And I'm going to also tell you, you're not exempt from the very human emotions that you're going to need to go through over these next few months. Like you're going to see your family, you're going to be it's going to bring up some stuff. And you're going to, so nobody's exempt. So you're not exempt from needing to go through the 5 stages of grief and all, however the waves of grief are going to come in for you. But what I'm excited for is after that human experience that your body needs to go through, you will have a relationship with your mother that wasn't possible in life.
Yeah. No, I agree. I absolutely agree.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's wonderful. My oldest sister, so I have 7 siblings, 5 sisters, 2 brothers, and
that's
my oldest sister.
That's a lot of dynamics.
My older sister is kind of taking the charge and helping to organize the service, and she goes, I'm going to be doing the eulogy, but I'm getting everyone to share a fun story, a happy memory about mum. And I want to share this one with you because it was just brilliant. Because, my mum grew up in a country town, never left the country town. She lived there her whole life, right? She was one of 14 kids.
Wow.
And then she had, and then there was 8 of us. So we were a big family as well. So, mum and dad did sacrifice a lot in their life to, with working and trying to raise 8 children and did an amazing job for the most part. Anyway, so when I was an adult, I took mum to the ballet. She'd never been to a ballet, and it was at the Opera House.
In Sydney,
that beautiful
right?
building in Sydney.
The one that's the white. Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So she and my sister Suzette came with her, drove her to Sydney. We went to the Opera House. We're having champagne. And the opera was beautiful. It was just amazing. My mum was just in awe. She loved it. So then we leave the Opera House and we're walking at Circular Quay there, and we sat at one of the cafes and we're, having coffee and a little bit of cake and whatever, and just talking about the ballet. And next thing you hear this bang, and my sister goes, "What was that?" And I go, "That sounded like fireworks." Now, this is a Monday night, a regular old Monday night.
Monday night.
Anyway, we look over and we just walk out, and there's this huge fireworks display coming off a barge in the middle of the Sydney Harbour.
Wow,
it was amazing. And I'm just
your mom was just like, "Kah."
I know, she was, she had never personally seen fireworks like that. And my mum's like, "I wonder what the fireworks are for." I go, "Well, Mum, it's your first ballet. I thought I'd do something special, and organize some fireworks for you." and she looks at me and she goes, "Really?" And I went, "No, Mum."
No, Mom. I love you, but that's a barge. I love you, but that's a barge.
That's a big thing to pull off.
We love Mom.
So we kind of joked about that, but
we love
Mom. It was the perfect ending to her first ballet night. It was the fireworks. So.
What was your mom's name?
Her name was Patricia Joan.
Patricia Joan. We love it. Oh, my sister's middle name is Joan.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't know that. Another little connection.
And and if there's anything that I can that I loved about my mum is that she was always finding ways to bring joy, even especially if it didn't cost anything.
Yeah. Okay. You know why? Because joy is free. God
No,
bless
it is free.
That's right.
Like, oh my God, we used to do so many things. Like, we go blackberry picking. So
Yeah.
imagine a four-door, like a sedan with
Wow.
8 kids in it. And we're all dressed in Dad's old overalls.
And nobody has a seatbelt on.
Well, no, not with that many people. And we drive, and then we pull up at someone's property. Like, we live in the country, and lived in the country. And that all these kids pile out of the car. They would grab a bucket each. We jump the fence. We run over, and then we're in the big blackberry bush, and we're picking blackberries. And we come back with buckets of blackberries. And Mum would make blackberry pie and blackberry jam and, blackberry whatevers. So
no, you were jumping over a fence. Were you allowed to be there? Or was this like drive-by berry picking?
We were not.
This was drive-by berry picking. This was like berry picking at your own risk. This is
exactly
like high-risk berry picking. I love this.
Yeah. And we used to, I wouldn't say it was legal, but it was fun.
It was so fun. So fun.
And we'd do the same thing, mushroom picking, and we'd always, Christmas and everything, we'd make up games, and it was all, we used to play a game called sticks. We have these different sticks, and you have to jump in between the sticks, but then when you get to the end, you can choose a stick and, move one of them. And my brother broke his arm playing that, so that's when we had to stop playing sticks. But
Nix on the stick, ixnay on the stick days.
Ixnays. But yeah, she was always looking for ways to make our life fun and joyful. And one of the also cool things that she used to do, we get home from school, and she'd make pikelets. So pikelets are like little mini pancakes.
Yeah.
So you think about this. This is, flour, water, egg, inexpensive, very easy to make. But the joy that we would feel coming home, and we'd be trying to pull them out of the frying pan just with our fingers, and we'd be putting like melting butter and putting jam or something on it. It was just, So there was some lovely memories as well. And she, even though it was, we would have moments where things were challenging and stressful and whatever.
Sounds like
she
you
would
were living
always
a
figure out
life.
a way.
Sounded like you were living a life.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's it, is right. There's moments of joy, there's moments of stress, but what are you relating to? And all of it's true. I love the pancake story. I don't know. My mom was also a source of joy for me too. And I think after she passed, it was interesting. I took about a year. It was a little bit of a different, I think, situation, because my mom, I don't know if I was ready my mom wasn't quite where your mom was at. I think my mom was a little too young. My mom was only in her 60s when she passed. And so I wasn't ready for it, even though we got kind of a long goodbye, because she was sick for like 8 years. And so she was sick for a long time, but you're never ready, but man, I would have loved if she could have made it to 90. That would have been epic. But I remember that she'd always tell me, she goes, Susan, I'm going to come back and haunt you. I'm going to come back and haunt you. And I love that, it was like, and she really does come back in ways that are so intimate to me. And I just kind of feel my mother. And it's funny because I never felt my mother before, but now I feel her. Like sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'll literally feel like my mom kind of is inhabiting my body just for a second to look at people, because she loved to watch people. And so I just kind of feel like I've got these moments when I'm walking to the store and I'm doing something like my mom, that I'm like, oh my God, it's totally my mom. And so it's like, those are those fun moments for me and my mom was the creator, the original Joy Jolter. She'd walk around our house. Right. She'd go, whoa, out of nowhere, whoa, like, what's going on, Mom? I'm just so excited, and she would just be excited, and it was fun. I think, looking back on all those stories. So I'm excited for, what is going to be a really wildly sacred next few days for you with family and friends.
And I think the other thing that's really important, and I know we have mentioned this before, but joy is a choice.
Yeah.
So, I'm about to go to my home country town, and stay with my dad. All my siblings will be arriving. And one part of me is like, ooh, this could be interesting. I mean, I get on with all my siblings. I do. I get on with all my siblings. I'm closer to some more than others, but I get on with everybody. I wouldn't say the same for them. There is a few, and I keep forgetting the politics and who's speaking to who and what's going on. But I know that in the midst of what could possibly be some, uncomfortableness or easiness or whatever, my choice is going to be joy.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Right? You can use that to pre-pave. And joy doesn't just mean that you're not feeling the feelings. It's just saying, joy is the goal. Like, I think it's I want you to laugh a lot. I want you to, feel a lot, cry a lot, do it all.
Yep.
Do it all.
Yeah. That is, it's going to be a roller coaster.
And it's interesting because I do I feel like I think about death a lot. I don't know if you do. I do. I think about death a lot. I do. I think I've always said, none of us get out of here alive. It's like the number one cause of death number one cause of death on the planet is birth. Mm-hmm. Right? That's it. When you're born, you're going to die. We're all terminal. Nobody's getting out here alive, And so it's like, I do think that when you operate at a space of acknowledging that this is fleeting, it does plug you back into, at least for me, it plugs me back into like choosing a deeper sense of joy, making that choice at a deeper level. Like it is all so precarious.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I think it's interesting because sometimes when people talk about death, it could feel morose, but whoa. What if death is where we can really mine that deeper connection to joy?
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of friends who've had near-death experiences. Mm-hmm. And one of my good friends, Anita Morjani, she wrote a book called Dying to Be Me.
Yeah.
And if you look at there are thousands and thousands of near-death experience accounts, and they're all very, very similar. Mm-hmm. And I love her description of it. And her description is like, okay, let's just say that you live in a warehouse and you have a flashlight. And what you see in this warehouse is what's in the flashlight. That's all you see. Life is like this. You get to see everything that's in your flashlight. When you move around, that's what you see.
Yeah.
She goes, but when you go to the other side, it's like someone just turned the light on in the warehouse, and she goes, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, there's all these things. And then you look at and the colors and the things and the thing and all these things that you weren't even aware of because all you could see was what was in the beam of your flashlight.
It was the flashlight. Yeah, I love that description.
Goes, that's what it's like. Now,
wow.
If that's going to be our experience, I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
That's my belief.
Yeah.
So because that's my belief, I'm like, death, okay. When it's my time, it's my time. I mean, I don't want to go, and there's plenty of things I want to get done and want to do and experiences to be had, but I'm not afraid of death.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, if that's my belief of what I think is going to happen, it just takes that whole thing.
Well,
off.
you can't
I don't want it to be painful on the way out.
Yeah. You're not going. I always tell my kids, I'm like, you know how mom's going to die? And if you ask my kids, they'll go like this. They'll go, this is how mom's going to die. I want it to be fast. So my kids even know how I'm going to die, right? Because I've always said I'm going to die my own unique death. It's not going to be my mother's death. I'm going to have my own experience, and it's going to look like that.
Yeah. Yes. I know. I always say it's going to be something spectacular. Mm-hmm. Although I feel really bad. I don't know if you've seen in the news about the bungee jumping in Brazil.
Oh my God. That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those of you who haven't seen the news or haven't been online this week, there was a bungee jumping thing down in Brazil, and these three guys had had the girl up, in a horizontal position, and threw her off, but they had forgotten to attach her to the bungee.
I can't even, and nobody checked, and it was sitting right there. You could see it in the video.
Yeah.
Like
that was,
checked.
Yeah. So I'm just, and I've been talking to a few people about it. I go, my hope for her was that she blacked out halfway down. So
you know what? Let's be honest. She didn't know she didn't have a rope on her.
Yeah.
She didn't know.
She did at some. She would have realized at some stage,
like a really, really tiny fraction of the second, when she realized, oh, I'm not going to make my way out of it. But she thought she had a rope on, so I think she thought she was going to be safe in that experience. But there's I also think about that one woman who was sitting in row 23A on the Southwest airline, or one of the airlines, and something hit the fling, boom, and it broke her window and she got sucked out. Everybody else is okay. And I think about that. That's a crazy experience, right?
Crazy.
You were handpicked by God, in that moment. So it's a crazy thing. We've got some guests joining us, just kind of catch you up. Natalie lost her mom this last week. And so we're talking a little bit about death, and we're talking a lot about joy, and we're talking about how both can be true. The sadness, the upset, the loss, and the joy can all be true at once.
In the same moment.
Yeah.
In the same moment, in the same body, in the same soul.
Yeah.
We can, I think, and I honestly believe that this is a skill that we really want to be able to, as human beings, get more comfortable with being able to do. Because, there are a lot of things happening in the world right now.
Well, I think when it's acute, when someone dies, when someone's diagnosed, when it becomes acute, then we start practicing the very skills we should be practicing before it becomes an emergency. And that life just by itself is worth practicing for. These skills of learning to think the empowered thought, to choose the empowered story, to pivot towards joy, to take an intentional deep breath in and just open yourself, practicing those things when it's not in kind of a life or death situation.
Yeah, I agree. So we will have an announcement coming out pretty soon.
We're excited.
We are very excited because we are in the midst of organizing an incredible retreat.
Yes.
In Pamul, down in Playa del Carmen, because what we've realized is that shit's not calming down anytime soon.
So let's go get some real joy.
And so for us, we find it's really important that I think for a lot of us, and I know this was important for me, is to be able to create a space where we can have a reset. Get our nervous systems back down to being regulated, and then having the tools so that when we go back into that crazy, crazy world and our crazy, crazy lives, we have the ability to handle it and manage it and navigate it in a much more calm and easy way. And that is our plan.
So excited to talk a lot more about what is coming in October 2026. It really is about real joy and real connection. And we're doing it in a real space. We're not going to go to some all-inclusive that is just, cookie cutter. It is going to be an experience that's going to anchor you back into yourself. So we're excited to share more information about that. And Nat, we love you. I love you. You're in the most real space that there is right now. So go be with your family and love your family. And thank you for being with us on the Joy Jolt this week. I know you didn't need to do this, but I know that you love this work. So
I do. This is my reprieve. This is my joy. I love doing this, and I love doing it with you, honey.
I love it too. So we're going to go into a little bit of a deeper conversation. We've got a couple things that we want to share with our paid subscribers. If you're not a paid subscriber, or if you're not listening to us on Substack, please visit us at thejoyjolt.com. You can subscribe. You can share a jolt with a friend. You can become a jolter. We do these podcasts every week just to remind you that your joy is important. You are important. Your joy is
and it's
important.
worth fighting for.
All right. Well, we'll see you hopefully in a deeper conversation. Until then, I'm Susan Patrick.
And I'm Natalie Ledwell, and we'll see you next week.
Joy Jolt!